So what's the mission? To keep people from going in the gorge?
No. You need to stop what's in the gorge from coming out.
What the hell is that?
The gorge is the door to hell. And we're standing guard at the gate.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Frankenstein's podcast, where it's all about the monster. We're a creature feature podcast about monsters and why we love them. I'm one of your hosts, Joe Praska, and with me is...
your other host, Khalid Hussein.
What's going on, Khalid?
Not much, Joe. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, decent. How are you? I just asked how you were. I'm making up for all the times that you, don't ask how I am.
By asking me twice?
Yeah, that's probably it.
All right. I mean, I feel like that just still has me coming out ahead in the overall grand scheme of things, but sure.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm looking at two tabs at the moment, so I was thinking about something else. I just kind of went with the default robotic. How are you? You know.
Okay. So you're not listening, is what I'm hearing. You're tuning out.
I guess I'm showing my cards there. Yeah.
All right. Well, as the most present host, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking unnecessarily twice.
Yeah, good to hear you. You can't say Sunday Fun Day this time because it's not a Sunday.
But you know what I could say? What? Monday Fun Day.
Ah, there it is. All right.
Yeah.
That works.
Exactly. Today's the 31st. Tomorrow's your day.
Why is it my day?
Because you're a fool.
I thought you were just I thought you were trying to go somewhere I like jokes or something, but
foolish
I do have
jokes.
I have impeccable tastes in puns.
You're saying that very defensively, for the record.
Should we do a little housekeeping?
Sweep.
We're often we struggle with sometimes doing the housekeeping and plugging ourselves. I think that's a hard part about having a podcast, but I think I'm going to try to start doing it at the beginning so we can get out of the way right away, and also make sure that off the bat we're giving the thanks where they're necessary, if that makes sense. So I do want to say we do have a Patreon, everybody. If you haven't heard, we have a Frankenstein's podcast Patreon where we are putting out new bits called Franken Bits, where we just talk about whatever we want. We have a couple out there that have come out this year. We're kind of slow at getting them, but we're going to hopefully get some more to you. And we also have Patreon producers who are at the $7 level, and I want to give a shout out to those guys for helping to support us. And honestly, they helped me a lot because my old microphone went out, and the Patreon was able to help me update the equipment. So if you want to help out like that, that would be awesome. So shout out to those guys. It's Luke Johnson, Andy Groth, Jake Cole, and Joe Michaud. So thank you to you guys for being Patreon producers.
Joe, do you want to tell the listeners maybe one or two of your favorite Franken bits we've done so far? Give them a taste of what's behind the Patreon wall.
I do. We've had actually quite a few interesting topics, random ones. I really kind of enjoyed the one we did on Twisted Metal. I thought that was a lot of fun because I think that's a show that I really wanted to talk more about, but I was like, it doesn't really fit the monster. It's not monstery, it's horror adjacent for sure. But I was like, this is a good opportunity to really talk about it and dig into why I was so surprised at how much I liked that show. You were so surprised about it. We just loved how Anthony Mackie got to be a weirdo. So that was fun.
Let Anthony Mackie be weird. I will die on that hill.
Yeah, he's great at it. He's great at being weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Have you had a favorite yet?
I mean, I'm pretty partial to the Montgomery Brawl episode. It was one of our earliest ones, but that one near and dear to my heart. I also really like the Halloween songs.
That was fun, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one too. But they're all so great, and it is just a fun avenue that we don't necessarily get to go down in the main feed. So
yeah, so check it out. We have the link in our show notes if you're interested in supporting us. There's different tiers. You could be the 1, 3, and 7 at this point, I think. So whatever you can is always whatever you could do help out with is super appreciated. And while you're at it, find us on social pages. We're at Franken Podcast in most places: Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. Also, give us a nice rating if you're willing to. That would be cool.
Please and thank you.
Yeah. And last final thank you. We gotta give a shout out to our buddy Jim Tandberg for the cool as hell artwork for every episode and just the podcast in general.
Big Jim,
Yeah.
killing it.
So lots of thanks. Shall we? Shall I ask you a question, Khalid?
Are you you're asking yourself, right?
I don't know. I have a question for you, Khalid.
What's up?
So anyone looking at this episode title knows kind of what we're talking about. And in this film, there's towers, right? East and West towers. Khalid, what to you is the most appealing thing about going into one of those towers?
The view is Gorge.
The view is Gorge. Us.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Gorgeous. So. Get it?
Yeah. I mean, the way you asked that question, it kind of left it like a straight line to the punchline.
And that's a segue, Khalid. What are we talking about today?
Thanks for asking, Joe. Today we're
Khalid, hold on, Khalid. Are you good about to give us the Cliff Notes?
Oh God, I just got that. Damn.
Yeah, because there's
damn. Okay, you redeemed yourself. You snapped on that one.
Snuck one in there. That was the point of that whole setup. It was to get lull a sense of security that it was going to be bad, and then I snuck in a good one.
I don't believe you, but I'll give you that. I do not believe you.
And that's a segue, Khalid. What are we talking about?
You can't just say that's a segue. You have to actually segue. Okay. Today we're talking about the 2025 sci-fi film directed by Scott Derrickson, The Gorge. And I have a synopsis from your homeboy Khalid, me, and it goes a little something like this. Amateur poet and hopeless romantic Levi falls head over heels for Drasa, the girl next Gorge. Sparks fly immediately as they make googly eyes through rifle scopes. Will their love clear the gap of the Gorge? What do the zombie soldiers think of Levi's poetry? Why is this a job for the top 2 snipers in the world? What happens in the Gorge? Don't stay in the Gorge, boy!
What a monster!
They're creatures of the abstract that live off potential energy.
It's alive!
Nice, Khalid.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, this was an interesting one. This movie was from a script that went on to, I think, what they call the blacklist in Hollywood, where it's like the shelf of like movies that aren't going to get made kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it sat there for a while, and it had this like, apparently people voted like most exciting script that's never going to get made or something like that. So it was like expected to not happen until like I think Scott Derrickson, the director, expressed some interest. But let's get started, Khalid. What did you think of this one? Just some initial thoughts.
It's interesting that you say that it was like a blacklist like hit and everything. I guess I would really be interested to see what about the script like jumped out to people. The whole time I was watching it, I kept thinking like this feels like a short film, or at least like an idea that could like really last in a short film that's being like stretched out to a feature. That notwithstanding, like I think that it's uneven just because it's doing wildly different things throughout the movie, you know, like the first part of it is like very like kind of slow build, and then you get the kind of like silent romance thing where they're just like doing the signs back and forth, and it's cute. Nothing like really like grab you, but it's cute. You're getting through it, and then it just kind of like really jerks and stops in terms of the action and rising tension that is the rest of the movie. They're simultaneously like always like in a rush to do things, but also they kind of just have like 5 days here and there. I think Anya Taylor-Joy by now is like kind of like a just verified star. She's done so many like great movies that like I don't think this is the kind of thing that would like hurt her like batting average or anything like that. And I think Miles Teller is adequate leading man. He's got like a decade plus in the game. But yeah, I don't know. Something about the two of them here just like really never really like coagulated. It never became like a thing that like I was like invested in. And so I feel like a lot of the movie relied on that. And so that was kind of a bummer. But what about you, Joe? What did you think?
Really, I liked it. I liked it quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
I think there are flaws, and I'm gonna get to it, but I had a really good time with it. I was actually anticipating this one though for a while because I mentioned before on the podcast, I'm kind of a fan of Scott Derrickson, who directed this. I loved his Hellraiser entry, which is one of his first movies. It's like this really weird one, Hellraiser 5, that it's not really anybody's favorite, but it's like kind of a unique one that's in the sea of like the really bad sequels, you know? So I've always liked that. And then he did like, of course, we talked about Sinister on the podcast. He did the Black Phone and some other, I think he's just doing interesting things in the genre generally. So when I saw that he was working on like, a creature feature that's like also a romance, I was like, interesting, I'm on board. So I kind of came in like excited, and I wasn't disappointed. I thought it would be a little more horror given like his pedigree, but like I think that there are some like good scares and some interesting like horror imagery, of course, but like it's definitely more of like I would say just more of an action adventure on the whole. But to your point, like with like it doing a whole lot of different things, I was trying to like, when I was looking through the movie, I was trying to be like, what genre is happening right now? You know, like it's a lot of different ones. And like, I feel like in the beginning, like it starts off, it's kind of like introducing us almost to like a Black Ops thriller. Like you're going like off the books, like can't know where you are. And like the airplane ride, like felt like a spy movie almost, you know? And then it becomes like a romance, like a rom-com almost, with like the signs and like, you know, playing music for each other and that kind of stuff. Right. And then it's quickly survival horror, like, or, you know, like sci-fi essentially. Right. And then I think at the end, it's like almost feels like a corporate thriller, you know, like a corporate conspiracy thriller, because it's like, oh, it's not military at all. It's just this corporation and they're trying to like cover up stuff, you know? So like it does a lot of those things. And I think the strongest parts are the monster parts and the romance part. That's my opinion. I think the other parts almost dragged it down a little bit, because like all the stuff about the corporation was not, I feel like that was the most undercooked, you know? Like I think like there was more thought putting to the romance and the monster stuff, and then they're like, okay, there's also just like a dark corporation that's like doing some things, and they're going to throw a wrench into the characters' plans at the end. You know what I mean? So like that just felt like the most I will make the case that I feel like generally this is a unique story. Like overall there's the uniqueness to it, but I think like the corporate element of it, the corporate espionage part, was probably the least unique. It was sort of like a very typical like let's throw in like an evil corporation, which I'm generally for, like fuck capitalism, right? But like but it just felt like the most undercooked part, which is unfortunate because you had someone like Sigourney Weaver who has a fun presence, you know?
She does have a fun presence, but yeah, in terms of like being a villain and even what little they do like try to lend to making the corporation a threat seems kind of boilerplate, you know? And also I just these are like Miles Teller is his character Levi is the type of person to just like take a job with next to no information, like a comically low amount of information. You know what I mean? So it's like, it just feels like that guy isn't really like a risk in terms of he's going to go like spill the beans. Like he probably could have gone like the whole year without like learning very much of it if it wasn't for having a crush on the spy across the way. You know, he's he's patriotic to the point of just kind of being like a big wood block. And it's like this weird thing where it's like the big reveal is that like this isn't for the army. Like that would like even if it was for the army, which it sounds like at some point it was, or was it always this company? I don't know, but
no, it was military, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that like jurisdiction over this like hellish like chasm is the problem. You know, I don't think that Like that's not the issue with all of this. And even like the ethics of it about like, oh yeah, we want to like turn them into soldiers and stuff like that. I have no doubt that like the army would do that instead of a company. It's kind of just like picking. It's like it's very irrelevant,
Right, like the
distinguishability
twist that it's
wise.
like, oh, it's not the military doing this terrible thing. It's actually a corporation. It's like, okay, could have been, you could have gone either way, you know?
Yeah, it's like a dude just like changing hats. Like that's the equivalent of that to me. Like
Yeah,
it's the same dude, he's just wearing a different hat.
yeah,
Um
yeah. So that like that part was the weakest. I think it was the most forgettable because I actually like to be when you were saying things, I was like, oh yeah, they were trying to like do a super soldier serum, basically. Like I totally forgot about that element of it, you know. But I don't know. Yeah, it's weak and. But despite that, like the other parts that I mentioned, like the monster parts and the sci-fi parts, and I thought I liked the romance part. I thought that was kind of that was super fun and unique. Also, I thought it was fine. I in watching the Miles Teller character, which was Levi, right? Was yeah. Um, I didn't. I totally see what you're saying about like being a wooden block. Like I feel like he just has like they were just kind of like let's give him a couple like characteristics, but otherwise he's just like a just normal military guy. I mean, they gave him like the PTSD a little bit, but then there was like, okay, but he also likes poetry. Like that's his thing, you know? And which is, it's just like this broody, handsome guy on the beach, you know, in the beginning writing his poetry. Like I was like, okay, like this seems almost like a parody in this moment.
he's
Just,
the world's best sniper
yeah,
and he likes to write poetry in his spare time,
yeah,
Joe.
yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, I do feel like in a worse world, this would have been a Chris Pratt role, and I'm thankful it wasn't.
You're saying that like Miles Teller like single-handedly saved this role, like
He did when you think of it that way. He did.
by not. I don't know that Chris Pratt could have like made me enjoy this movie less.
I think he could have probably helped with that a little bit. I just feel like he's got like this shtick. Like I recently like watched half of Tomorrow War because I kind of got bored with it, but like he's just like he would play. Oh, I was a former military guy. I'm super like smart and charismatic, but now I'm also like post military, and I'm also like really good at science now too. Like it's just like that seems like an archetype that often Chris Pratt jumps into. We're like, oh, I used to be military, now I'm still super badass, but I also have this other cool trait, like I'm a poet, you know. So like it just feels
That's
like
true.
something he would go
I
for.
think the poetry stuff would have made me bust out laughing.
It would have been very funny.
Like it was just kind of like all right, that's just cool. For me, it's just like it's already like so much to just be like he is like top 5 best snipers. So like to add like any other dimension to it, it's just kind of like okay, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess when you put it that way, Pratt would have probably been more detrimental to the role.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. What? So you said the monster stuff really worked for you, and the romance worked for you.
I thought it was fun. I think it was just like a cool like take, and watching a lot of like rom-coms lately, and like it kind of like had those tropes, and I just thought it was fun. Like I think sometimes when you play with genre tropes in a setting where you're like playing around with multiple genres, I think you can kind of I think it's fun. So I had a good time with it. And I thought the actors did fine. I thought they were pretty good. My favorite part though, that I think illustrated like their romance, like I mean, at first it was like definitely like they just had the hots for each other, right? Like they're just like seeing each other. But then like I think that after they spent that night together and like had more of a connection, I think the way that once we get down into the gorge, you see like how they like work together and kind of like fall in step with each other, like the way like that's the part where you see them acting the most like quote unquote elite, you know. But like the way that they seem to like you go this way, I go that way, like just like all of this works together, the flow, it just felt like they had a connection, they were working together, and I thought it like illustrated it a good way without saying it, you know, like the show don't tell element. So I thought that was like the best parts of their relationship, almost was like culminating in the gorge and how they're working together to save each other. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. And it's also interesting because I feel like some of these other situations where we see like these sort of like monstery wastelands, like it's just kind of like people getting through it. And it's also just interesting to see like how a script would handle like a quote unquote elite soldier. And they do pretty good for themselves, really. So like, it was interesting. I thought it was cool to watch.
Agreed. I will say my favorite scene by far is Anya Taylor-Joy fighting the like I guess ghost soldier,
The Hollow Man.
the Hollow Man, in the that like captures her.
The main one. Yeah,
Yeah, like that hand-to-hand fight
that
sequence
was really
is
cool.
it's done really well. Like it's the kind of stuff where you go, oh yeah, this is why she can play young Charlize.
Yeah.
Like she really does just like bring like a ferocity to the fight scenes that I've seen her in that is just like can't take your eyes away. It's just cool. It's intense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was probably the best scene in the movie. That fight scene was really cool.
Question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're Miles Teller, you're Levi,
Mm-hmm.
soldier extraordinaire, part-time
Mm-hmm.
poet.
Okay.
You're on this job for like a year, no electronics, nothing with you, and Anya Taylor-Joy is on the other side of the gorge. You ziplining for that?
So I'm super soldier.
No, you're just Levi. Well, yeah, I guess is he a super soldier? I thought he was just like exceptional soldier.
Oh no, like a really good soldier.
Yeah, you're a really good soldier, but the other way across the gorge of the damned is a zip line. You doing it? Is it worth it?
Yeah.
I respect it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't say that it is for me, especially when the first time he does it and like just kind of stops halfway. I was like, yeah, that's what would terrify me. I would not
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah,
Also,
it's scary, but the things we do for love, Khalid.
what's annoying is she even says later in the movie that she had the better zip line. So
She did.
like, it's not that I'm not a gentleman, but like, if you have the better zip line, like, why am I risking it?
I mean, you don't really know that, and in your scenario of the question, you wouldn't have known that.
It feels like at the point that he did it, like there wasn't necessarily enough like communication for me to, like she just kind of did like a sad girl crying on the balcony thing, which like who else is that for?
Right? Yeah. Why are you?
I'm just minding my business on the like one place that you have like full view of me. Whatever. I guess there are crazy things you could do for love. I get it. It's a movie. I just thought like, yeah, that's right up there with like The Descent. You know what I mean? It's the kind of shit that like you lost me. You lost me, dog. Like I won't go over regular gorges that way. Let alone ones I know for a fact are filled with demons.
Wouldn't go for really gorgeous. Yeah. Fair enough. I truly, I'm going to be honest with you. When I was watching this movie and I was thinking about like how we're going to have this conversation, I was like, my mind was brought to The Descent again. I was like, Khalid's just going to say he would just simply not do these things.
And I know that's not a fun answer or whatever, but like, they're not doing fun things. Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
This is awful. Everything about it is awful. Also, I'm a little petty, but I feel like that helicopter, they proved by the end that the helicopter could just go all the way to the tower.
It did. Yeah.
So why the fuck did they just drop him off like clearly several miles away, so he had to hike all the way up to that thing? Like
they said it was some sort of protocol, like security protocol or whatever. I think that my understanding from that scene was like the helicopter people who get them to that point are also supposed to not know exactly where the gorge is, right? Because he had to put a fingerprint in to see the map once he like came down. Like they couldn't see the map either or whatever, right?
I guess. I don't know. I would be pissed. Because I'd be like, I know damn well you could land the helicopter closer. Like,
oh yeah. If you were working in the gorges, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I just okay. This part really just kind of like stuck in my craw. It's just like the logic of it. It's like, okay, soldiers are dispensable or whatever. That's kind of like the crux of the movie or whatever. It still doesn't make any sense other than just like making it like the like sole focus of like the romance, that you would have one soldier on each side.
Mm.
And that like the one soldier would be like one of your best soldiers. You know what I mean? Like, am I wrong? Wouldn't you just have like 10 like decent soldiers that could like watch each other's back? If you're gonna expend them all after anyway, I don't understand. Like, I just don't know how much they want that gorge protected. Like, it doesn't seem like it's like the priority.
I mean, I don't think safety is really their priority anyway. I think it's just they want somebody they want one. It's like one person can maintain the equipment, basically, right?
Right, but like 4 people can definitely maintain the equipment, and there's like no route.
But there's like more variables, right? Like the least amount of people that you can get that you can like disappear afterwards too, right? Like it's probably like a calculations game, right? Like it's like, okay, we can get away with one person maintaining that equipment. We're gonna
Not
get
if
away
that
with
one person is like the Batman of the Marines.
Well, as we see that the point of the movie shows us that was their mistake, right? They
They
chose when they choose the Batman, who's also a romantic poet. That's when they made their mistake.
But yeah, so I'm just saying, like you say calculus, like for me, it's like I will take 4 or 5 henchmen for a year.
Yeah.
And whatever risk comes of that over one Batman going rogue.
Well, that's why you're a bad, evil corporate overlord. You would never succeed.
That's
Because
true.
you would have already gone out of business from all the extra 4 people. Like that's 3 more people every year, right? You got to pay them for that year. I don't know. Theoretically,
right. Yeah, the budget is the concern here.
Probably is.
I'll never see you as such a fiscally conservative person, man.
Yeah. Well, if I'm an evil corporate overlord, I would have to be.
I guess so. Sigourney Weaver would be proud.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to. Did you? Okay. I don't know if our listeners know about this, but like you've seen the YouTube series Pitch Meeting, right, with Ryan George?
Yeah.
They did a pitch meeting for this. It's pretty fun. So if anyone wants to check that out, I'd recommend it. Maybe I'll link it. But he brought up, he poked some fun and he brought some interesting points. But the biggest one that I've took from what he pointed out, and then I thought I was like, that doesn't make any sense. To your point about the helicopter coming in, right? Like when they get there, like Sigourney Weaver personally goes to the gorge, and all they do when they get there is activate drones to go, like remote drones. Like you could have. One, she could have not been there for that, like what was she going to oversee?
Killing him herself.
But she didn't. She just activated the drones.
Yeah, to kill. She wanted the drones. She wanted to activate the drones that would kill him personally.
She could have at home too.
Nah, man, you just don't get it, man. Like,
okay, so now who's the corporate overlord here, right?
I'm just saying, man. I'm old school. When I kill someone with a drone, I like to go press the power button physically. Hold it for like 3 seconds, make sure the Bluetooth connects.
And that's your mistake, Khalid.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. You'll never catch me near a gorge anyway. So
that's true. Even if you're evil, you wouldn't be there.
Like I'm always like in minimal danger just because of like simple rules like that. Stay away from gorges.
No gorges, no caves, and you won't go on the ocean very far out there, right? That's those 3 things so far.
I have a lot of rules for on land too, but yeah, that's the gist.
Love it.
In terms of pop culture gorges, where does this one rank for you?
What are the other ones?
I have one.
Okay.
Springfield Gorge.
Oh yeah.
Homer skateboards over it, or he tries to.
That's right. It's hard to beat that one.
Yeah. And then,
I guess second then.
You don't have any other gorges?
I don't know.
All right. Yeah, Springfield Gorge rules though.
That show was a really good episode, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about what we get in the reveal once they get down to the gorge after they kind of go through travel through the gorge for a little bit. Which I wanted to ask you about this. 2 properties I got vibes from when I was watching the gorge sequences. Did you also get echoes of other things?
Yeah, a few different things.
What were yours?
Weirdly enough, I was like, this would be like a cool like Hawkeye, Black Widow like side
Oh,
adventure.
that's interesting. Yeah, that kind of
You
could
know
work.
what I mean? Like a what if they were like on like a Guardians planet or something.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Other than that, I got Del Toro vibes
Okay, okay.
with the way the Hollow Men looked.
Yeah.
But what about Pirates of the Caribbean with the
Oh,
sword?
that's interesting. Okay, I got totally different things.
Okay.
I got Silent Hill.
Ooh, yeah.
I was thinking Silent Hill with just how it feels otherworldly, but you see like things that are also kind of supposed to be normal. At one point, they were, like the like places and stuff. Like,
Mhm.
then I also got Annihilation.
Yeah, actually, I did remember Annihilation.
Yeah,
Came to mind.
big Annihilation vibes. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was but yeah, I think your points are really good. Like the Hollow Men, like the guys kind of like feel like the Pirates of the Caribbean guys. Also, they look like the Green Knight a little bit.
Yeah, Green Knight for sure.
Yeah, tree people, tree monsters. So that's cool. But yeah, no, I liked it. It was kind of fun. I feel like the the gorge itself stuff, like a lot of that was really cool aesthetically. Like I really liked. I don't think they told us why, but I liked how there was different colored fogs.
Yeah, although the fog stuff just felt like bullshit from the
I mean,
jump.
it totally
You gotta
was.
you
But
gotta wait 5 days to find out if it did anything to you.
oh, that yeah, that's magic. But I like again the colors. I thought the colors were cool. Like they're like yellow at first. It was purple for a while, then it was red, and then orange. I thought it was cool.
No, yeah, different colored fog, man. That rules.
Super fun to look at. But anyway, so the reveal when they get there is that it was a testing site for like another kind of like weapon of mass destruction. Like at the same time they were working on the atom bomb. But of course, like an earthquake happens and like the toxin or the chemical leaks and everyone kind of merges together their DNA with plants and animals and all that stuff into some like horrific nightmare scenario. So, what did you think about the reveal that it was like a World War II era research base? Like instead of like literal supernatural, like gates of hell, like something biblical in a sense, or something alien.
I mean, it just felt like a video game at that point. Like it felt like a few video games I've played or like have like knowledge of in passing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's as good a reason as any. I think that like it works neatly with the whole Levi and Drasa being like, it's like, yeah, what does being an obedient soldier really get you? And that like that they're all still kind of connected through time with like the writing on the walls and the quotes and whatnot, which was a little heavy handed, but I thought it was a good touch. But yeah, I mean, I guess like it didn't like really do anything for me in terms of like entertainment. I wasn't like, now we're cooking. It was just like, oh yeah, this is probably like if you gave me like 3 guesses, I would get close.
Sure. I think it works well too. Like I think you like your point, like it works best in service of the theme, right? Um I do think like there's always going to be a part of me that's like hopeful that a movie will go in like a Lovecraftian like cosmic horror route where it's like something unknowable, unexplainable almost, but like ultimately like when I thought about it, I was like, okay, this makes probably more sense for the story they're trying to tell here, but I think that would have been interesting too. Just to see like humans, dealing with that always is fascinating. But ultimately, I liked it overall. I thought it was fine. It was cool.
You know what I call bullshit on?
What?
They send one army in there and call it quits. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Also, America is just gonna like share property. Yeah, right. We've got in the real world, we've already got a flag on there. Like McDonald's and Starbucks are fighting over like who's gonna have like the first franchise in the Gorge. Like we've definitely fracked the Gorge to death by now. um that was I called bullshit. It was like, oh yeah, we sent one battalion in there and then no one came back, so we were like, no thank you. It's like nah.
Yeah.
Cap. Like they would have manifested those tree monsters straight to hell.
Would have been an interesting movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you about the video game element too. I was thinking that like right away. Like it feels very video gamey, and that's another element that I thought was fun. Like having played like Resident Evil and Silent Hill back in the days, it got echoes of that. Um, we did when we were watching it the other night. We thought it was funny how like Miles Teller just knew how to work that old projector. Like he just was like, oh, I just start the projector.
They knew how to
Like,
do so many things that
well,
makes
like
no sense.
okay, well, I mean, 1940s projector tech is part of the sniper training.
That's what I mean though. Like fine, he's a world-class sniper at like 34 or whatever. Fine. But that means that he didn't learn how to do anything else. Like he's just been shooting guns for as
Yeah.
long as he could. And that's the only I don't buy that he knows how to do all this other shit too.
Yeah. I mean, that's what he even says in his backstory. Like you said, like he's basically been a shooter since he was like a kid, right? Like he's like, oh, since my dad took me hunting, I focused on the perfect shot.
This guy does
Yeah.
not seem like he'd be very fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
At all.
Probably. Yeah. He'd just be like, I got poetry about this, but I'm not gonna tell you.
He's just his character from Whiplash, but like it's about like sniping instead of drumming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's like obnoxiously like serious about his craft.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I was willing to overlook the projector tech because it's like that also feels like a game where you find the one like thing and then you put it in the thing and then it tells you what's going on a little bit. It's fine. And then of course they go into the other room and see like the 2000s era computers, which was, I mean, that was fun too. It's more exposition, but it again, like video game, you were like, you watch some and then you read some, right?
It's always so cool how like you read about like Martin Scorsese has to like spend like thousands of dollars like keeping oxygen away from all of these like films that only have one copy from 100 years ago, and then these movies are just like, oh yeah, so he's just been sitting around in a little
In
silo
toxic gas.
in toxic gas, but audio and video have never been better.
It works.
You have 4K.
Hell yeah. He's just gotta use Gorge technology, I guess.
Yeah, Marty, don't be a pussy. Get in the gorge. Figure out what they're doing to preserve their films, all right?
Shall we monster?
Let's monster.
All right. So we have in this movie, the Hollow Men are what they're referred to, mutated creatures that inhabit the gorge, result of World War II bioweapons lab leak, which we talked about. So mutated the DNA of the humans, including the soldiers that never returned, plants, animals, and merged them all together into like horrific, weird, and probably painful mutations ways, right? So the monsters that we see are the soldiers, the horses. We see that mutated centipede creature in the beginning. We see the spiders made of skulls. That was pretty gnarly. Then there was the yellow goo mass of like the humanoid cocoon mutations in the misosilo at the end. What did you think that was, by the way? The like yellow mass of goo.
Oh, where it was like a bunch of sleeping people in it and stuff?
Yeah, was it like making new ones, or is that just like one weird mutation that's just been there forever?
I don't know, man. I think it's just like, let's just do whatever weird stuff we can think of after a certain point in terms
Sure.
of that town. I guess like in universe, yeah, I mean, there was a whole town there, so it just stands to reason that like depending on where and how you died after about a century plus, like it just evolved with you in there. And so like that's just like a horrifying scenario.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was a cool sequence though, like in like the horror movie like element of it, like that was kind of like that reminded me most of Annihilation, which is kind of like this horrific, probably awful feeling like situation that they're stuck in.
Yeah, definitely got Annihilation vibes from it. Also, like the fact that it was like so sticky too.
Yeah, that was cool.
I don't do sticky. I don't like that.
Right. No, I actually think like, I mean, that's an example of it, but I think the tension that they were able to kind of like craft within the gorge was well done. So anyway, the VFX work was done by Frame Store. Basically they were given a concept art of the Hollow Men head right away, and they kind of were tasked with like, what else just go from there. Like, what else would you see? So one of the quotes I have from this movie is from a guy named Martin McRae, who is the art department lead at Frame Store. He kind of said, so one of his quotes I pulled from is, the challenge was to include plant life native to the environment while reflecting dramatic mutations caused by the radioactive valley. The hollow men needed to remain recognizably human, as if they were trapped within their own bodies. So they kind of wanted to give that vibe, and I feel like the yellow goo was an echo of that, like people trapped in something, right? So they kind of talked about how each character needed some like visual aid to show like the history of their character. So like you see the lab coats in some, you see the like army uniforms in some, and they were trying their best to like find that balance of like merging like the like sort of like this natural environment with something like more like man-made, like specific, like the swords and like, you know, things like that. So they actually did lots of research on like the flora and fauna and like types of plant life that would grow in this kind of a region, and they try to utilize different instincts or qualities of those types of like plant life in the designs. So but then also trying to also again keep that balance of making sure the character still like shows through. So I thought like the VFX crew, it sounds like they were doing a lot of really interesting work to try to make these monsters like interesting to look at. What do you think about that?
I think what I liked is that even though they were sticking to the science-y military experiment of it all, they still found a way to kind of just go full fantasy with it. I think I really liked the little spider thingies when they started coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I like that they're kind of like the monsters in the Mummy, you know, where it's like they're not quite like bulletproof, but they're not like invincible vampires or something either, you know?
Yeah,
Like
it's like a
it's still
medium. Yeah.
yeah, medium difficulty thing to fight, like the perfect level of difficulty for what like a Batman type soldier. Two Batman type soldiers. Basically, I want to
Yeah.
give credit to Anya Taylor-Joy's character too, popping oligarchs and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I think I already mentioned that it evoked Guillermo del Toro.
Mm-hmm.
So design wise, that's definitely something to remark on. Is like it's a high watermark to make something fantastical and like kind of grotesque, but like appealing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the actual environment itself, I thought that was fascinating. I mentioned before, I thought the colored like fogs was cool. It just made, I just think visually it made it interesting to go through the different parts. But so there's a clear influence in the design of the place, and I think Del Toro is a good clock because that does feel Del Toro-esque. But I guess it draws influence specifically from the work of a Polish painter, and I'm gonna say the pronunciation wrong because some of the sounds in the name, and I actually researched this before like talking about it, because some of the sounds and names are really hard to say in English. So essentially his name is Zdzisław Benszynski. So it starts with a Z, if you're wondering, Khalid. So I was trying to pronounce it correctly. But
Thank you.
he's a famous Polish painter, and his works are known to described as dystopian surrealist. And and if you Google his name, which I could put in the show notes as well, I could totally see like there's a specific shot where they go through the purple fog, where there's like twisted like dead trees that are obviously merged with like skeletons, and I feel like that was like almost like directly homaging like his work, which when I was looking at it, that was kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting, to kind of see that influence. They did actually on set build mostly practical forest for the filming of it, and then they used colored light sources and like a little VFX like help as well to kind of create the mood of it. But they kind of worked with a tangible space when they're walking around there.
I was worried at the beginning of the movie that we would spend the entire time in their respective silos, and I was like,
Mhm.
I'm sure they could find a million ways to like cleverly communicate and like keep it cute, but the movie itself didn't seem that interested with their living quarters, so it was hard for me to get excited about spending my time there. And so when they do eventually make it down into the gorge, and like that's kind of the middle passage of the movie, it was definitely just visually a lot more gratifying.
Right. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Although it's very clear that her tower was like nicer, right?
I think that he is just one of the most boring people in the world, and you could put him in the Shangri-La, and he would still find a way to make you kind of like fall asleep watching.
Fair. I mean, like his was just it was just so utilitarian. Like hers had like she had the record player. Like it felt like it was like cozy. There was like wood floors and stuff, and she had like stuff, like there, like unique. Yeah, I don't know.
Nah, that British brother was listening to like some drill rap or something. It's
probably
definitely
where's his shit.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like he probably like it was a deleted scene where like he like just Hank Hill style just like sees the boombox and like tucks it away or something.
Hank Hill style. Yeah.
Like this dude is the wettest of towels.
Yeah, that's fair. I do want to talk about the main Hollow Man that is kind of like in the language they use is kind of like the main asset of the movie in a sense. So they called him Alpha. He's the one who gets the most screen time. It's when we talked about Who Fought with Anya Taylor-Joy, that scene.
Yeah.
So this character was a blend of practical performance and CG enhancement. So basically they had a suit. They replaced the body with a full CG design, like over the actual like action that the person did. And they introduced like changes. They like elongated the fingers. They narrowed the waist, broadened the shoulders to give kind of like an alienish body look. But they kept like the facial and prosthetic elements in most shots to kind of preserve the performance of like a person there, to say, be like even though this is kind of like a faceless villain, there's like an element of humanity there. There's a stunt performer who I think James Marlowe was the name, who was in the makeup effects. So that was the person who was in that suit and like kind of whose face you end up seeing. But that being said, the other Hollow Men that we see and the variants were pretty much all CGI designed pretty much from the ground up. Multiple versions. There was like, they tried to make them look a little different pretty much. And there was some that they did use costumes for, but ultimately what we see is CGI versions of it. But they tried to make sure that every different Hollow Man that we see had like some sort of unique piece to it that wasn't, so they didn't look all exactly the same. So thought that was interesting. But yeah, it's cool to see what they were able to do, because I thought that the effects on especially that final fight scene with the one were like, it looked really, really good. Like the blending of the CGI and the practical I thought was really effective. What do you think?
I thought it was really effective as well. I guess I was just kind of this is more of a narrative question than anything else, but like, so they shoot JD, or is that his name? JD or something?
JD? Oh yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah, they shoot JD in the beginning. Is the implication that when he falls into the gorge, he gets mutated anyway? Or how did all the other soldiers that are from the Gorge Watch, how are they being turned? I guess that wasn't entirely clear to me.
Oh, like, yeah, I actually did kind of wonder if perhaps when he did like kidnap her and bring her to like his little like home with the fire, that maybe it was some sort of like, I'm going to turn you into a Gorge person too. Did you think that?
Something. I would have loved to get a little bit more like of the like Gorge native perspective.
I think that I kind of did wonder for a while if like after the fight, like they were going to stop and like that one was going to talk a little bit and give them more exposition. Like I thought that would have been interesting.
That could have been cool if it turns out like, oh no, they're like trapping us down here kind of a thing. And it's like that we're not bad guys.
I was kind of waiting for that. Like I know that it probably makes more sense that they're just like kind of like really reduced to base instincts, but like tugging on humanity in some capacity, or maybe the fact of like interacting with a human who's not gorgified would or could we say gorgeous? We'll just say gorgeous. No, I'm gonna say gorgified. Who's not gorgified is like brings humanity back into them. That would have been kind of interesting too.
Yeah, like what if it's like the further away they get from the fumes, the less gorgified they get or some shit. But like we never knew that because like anytime they tried to get close to getting out, they just got like shredded. But it's like
yeah,
like,
they totally did.
They just get turned into like border, like they're just border patrol and like they're doing something like bad, but like they don't know it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's still. I mean, they do find that they're doing something bad still, but yeah, I think that there's another dimension that could have been really interesting. That's true.
Yeah. What did you think of the ending when they finally like find each other in France or whatever?
Oh, it made me so happy. I'm glad they end up together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you? I guess you were very like won over by the relationship.
I was rooting for him. I was rooting for those 2 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Did it remind you of the ending of
The Dark Knight.
yeah, The Dark Knight? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises, right?
It'd
Yeah.
be
That's
really
what
funny. They're just like 2 tables away, just like toasting.
I almost wished it would have been that. Like they just like copied that scene for scene. That would have been so funny. No, I don't know. I just feel like the general tone of the movie, like it dabbles in horrific imagery and horror, but I don't think it really goes into any sort of like nihilistic horror. Really, it's kind of a more of an action adventure, exciting, and in that tone, I appreciated having a happy ending. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I don't think I liked it as much as you, but I did enjoy it at parts. So I do want that to be like the takeaway. Like it's enjoyable.
Yeah, I still really appreciate it just doing a very different kind of thing. Like it's not based on anything. It's not like a franchise. Like it's still doing a cool different thing, and I'm always here for that.
Totally.
Yeah. So, did you also notice the sequence of the characters like almost referencing their old movies with the Queen's Gambit and Whiplash? They played chess together and then they did drums together.
Oh, that didn't even occur to me, but that's cute.
Apparently it was in the script before they were cast, and they both like asked the director. They're like, maybe we should take this out. It feels a little too on the nose, but they said no.
Yeah, what? They don't own chess and drums.
Right. It's just, I think it's just kind of a funny little connection almost.
Get over yourself, kids.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
cute though.
Anyway, shall we move on to our last segment of the show?
Second to last.
Okay, fine. Speaking of second to last, Khalid,
Yeah.
would you fight or would you flirt with the Gorgeman or the Hollowman? The Gorgeman.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, like most of them are like from a bygone time, you know.
Right.
So I guess I get like the history file in me is like, oh yeah, like how cool would it be to like be like dating somebody from like revolutionary times, you know? Like the stories, the perspective, you know, provided they're somehow like in that like Venn diagram of like people from the past that like I would in any way find enjoyable to talk to. You know, like they'd have to check a lot of boxes off within that. But yeah, I think that like they've got a fun little society down there. I can do stuff that they can't do, so it's a little bit of like I don't have to like ever feel like too in the way. I'm contributing ultimately. You know, sometimes it feels like you go live with these monsters and it's like they got it all handled and you're just kind of dead weight after a certain point. Can't fly, can't do nothing. But like they need a person brain for a couple of things here and there. So yeah, I feel like everything we've seen about them in terms of like hostility comes from a place of like they have been trapped in a pit for a century and just keep getting shot at when they get anywhere close to getting out. So I would just be optimistic and I would try to charm them and, you know, maybe romance one of them before I bust out the turrets, you know. That's just me though. I'm the real romantic here.
The real romantic. I love it. So
Yeah.
So you'd flirt.
I would flirt.
Yeah. All right. I like it. But would you become like gorgified though? Like if you're down, are we saying that's not totally proven? You don't fully believe in that theory?
No, I don't believe in that theory. That us scientists from like 18 whenever the fuck or whatever like hypothesized as she was dying. No, I need a second opinion.
Yeah. Fair. Fair. Do you think? Okay, so I don't think I ever actually answered your question before. Do you think JD was gorgified or no?
I don't know because it seems like you had to be alive for the smoke to take effect. And also, why would they want to create more Gorge monsters.
Wait, so you're saying he wasn't?
I don't think he was. It doesn't make much sense. I can see them killing him because they want to cut off any loose ends. Like they don't even want to chance him talking about this thing. Fair, but it doesn't really make sense. And I guess I don't know. Like they never explain. Like, yeah, do you die and still become a Hollow Man?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was never clearly explained, and it's convenient for the Hollow Men that their resources can kind of just like grow that way. But it seemed to me like you had, but then how does it explain how all the other Hollow Men were created otherwise?
I bet he was gorgified. I mean, it would have been cool to see the actor back again if like they were like he was kind of like sort of tree-like too, you know,
That
like
seemed like what was gonna happen. Like that seemed like just a clear, obvious thing to do. It's like one of the only characters that we've even gotten a chance to see besides Sigourney.
yeah, true. I'm gonna say he was gorgified. It probably, I mean, but he would have had like the old soldiers had swords. He would have had like guns. So that would have been a different element. Maybe they had to cut something the storyline wise. I don't know.
Well,
Okay, yeah, we gorged ourselves on that one.
we did.
All right, so we move on to our actual final segment of the show.
Let's do it.
Did you think that I forgot fight or flirt?
Yeah, because of the way you said it.
No, I planned it the whole time that way to use
Okay.
second to last as a segue.
If I say I believe you, can we move on?
Sure, yeah, right. It's not true. I was just in a different place in my notes and I forgot to put that. Yeah, but yes, I did forget it. My bad.
All good.
Anyway, our last segment is our What the Fandom segment, in which we share something we're just into at the moment. Khalid, what the fandom with you this week?
Thanks for asking, Joe. My What the Phantom this week is the new Jessie Reyez album, Paid in Memories.
Ooh.
It dropped very recently. I think maybe even like in the last week or so. But I've done one spin through and I'm already loving it. It's I think I've recommended Jessie Reyez in the past. I know that you've listened to her in the past too. And yeah, she's just like a really talented vocalist. This time around, she's kind of covering religion seems to be a theme that she's like exploring on top of like the stuff that she's talked about before with regards to relationships and whatnot. So I'm always thoroughly entertained by like the journey that I get to go on listening to her albums. It really does just feel like an artist in the like nicest way to like possible. I think anybody who's looking for like just like some good new tunes, check out the new Jessie Reyez, Paid in Memories. And Joe, what the fandom with you?
Thanks for asking, Khalid. I will definitely be checking that one out. I am going to recommend, it's tough. I actually haven't done a lot other than watch stuff for the podcast lately, but I did get to see at work, nonetheless, in my classroom, my classroom of fourth graders, we played a movie right before spring break, and we watched the movie The Sea Beast from 2022 on Netflix. Stars Carl Urban and Jared Harris is in it. It's got a fun cast, but it's basically like it's an animated movie, but it's like about pirates that hunt like sea kaiju, basically giant monsters in the sea. But there tends to be some more with especially animated movies and movies in general, there's more to the story. So there's like kind of a don't judge a book by its cover sort of theme with multiple elements of the cast and the characters and the monsters as well. So it's kind of fun because it's got this like nice, like pretty unique and fun story that's good for kids, like applicable to stuff that they'd be into, but then like it has a ton of like stuff that I think like us monster fans would also like, with like weird monsters and like weird monster reproduction in a sense. Like I had a lot of fun with it. Like the creature design was fun and the idea of this kind of like world was really interesting. So I really enjoyed it. I'd recommend The Sea Beast, and it's I'm not always like in love with like Netflix movies, but I think that they will sometimes quietly put out like some really cool, unique things that sometimes gets buried amongst their like less interesting stuff that they put out. And I feel like this might be one of those things because I hadn't heard a whole lot of talk about it. But as far as like an animated movie, but I think it's really solid, and I'd recommend it. Anyone who's interested in animation or just kind of interesting storytelling, go check it out. The Sea Beast.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember you texted me about it earlier this week,
I
and
did.
it sounded delightful.
It is delightful. Yeah, very
Yeah,
fun.
awesome.
So anyway,
Yeah.
thanks for chatting about the Gorge, Khalid. I really like this movie, but I'm sorry that it wasn't your favorite.
It doesn't have to be my favorite. It was an enjoyable time for the most part. It was a very enjoyable discussion at the very least. And yeah, like I said, there's definitely still a lot to like about it in terms of the action sequences are pretty exciting. And yeah, I mean, if Joe liked it, there's something to like about it, y'all. So check it out.
Do you remember when this was like several episodes ago? You made the most like backhanded like insult / compliment to me that I didn't even notice it until like after listening to that post. You said something about the movie. I think it was Daybreak. You're like, it's bad. You'd like it.
It's the kind of bad that you would like, which
Yeah.
I think I have earned the right to like at least give you that kind of recommendation. And I
Yeah.
think you know that like there's a category of like it's bad, but Khalid would like it. You
Yeah, that's true.
know,
That's
like
true.
those are distinct genres that I think we both are qualified to point out.
Fair. Yeah.
Um,
Good save.
Thank you. But yeah, no, thank you for suggesting the movie. This was a great discussion. Thank you all at home or wherever you're listening to this. It's always fun to just get to chit chat about all this stuff and know that you guys are enjoying it. Until next time, though, creep it easy.